Week 4, DST Defensive Rankings for Fantasy Football, presented by UrbanM.com. Week 4 Defensive Rankings, there they are. This is who you want for Week 4 in your matchups against your opponents in your home leagues. There's 1 through 7. Number 1, Buffalo Bills. Houston Texans at 2. Detroit Lions. Broncos, Chargers, Patriots, Packers. They are in the best position to not allow points. Favorable matchups, Vegas totals, lots of complicated things that I will explain after I show you the rankings. So if you don't care, you can get what you want and run away. 8 through 15. Philadelphia Eagles, Minnesota Vikings, Seattle Seahawks, Commanders, 49ers at 12. So your 12-man league, those are your top 12. And if for some reason you got to keep going, 13, Ravens, Dolphins at 14, Raiders at 15, and then something changes. At 16 through 23, you have the other teams that aren't winning. You have bad defenses. So the top, good defenses. The bottom, bad defenses. That's pretty much all you need to see. That's pretty much all you need to know about Week 4, the matchups, and which defenses to pick. You want one of these defenses. These are one of the ones you want. Now, if you want to know in fantasy football, why do I want them? I'll tell you why. All right, so let's break this down. How do you make this ranking? How do you stream defenses for Week 4? Well, first of all, you want to Google NFL spreads and totals. I like to use covers.com. Presents you with a nice image like this. This is covers.com. Looks absolutely great. It puts it all in there, updates it immediately. So on Tuesday, after the week is finished, Sunday Night Football, Monday Night Football, you go on to covers.com or whoever your favorite sportsbook is, and you check out their game totals. And for the new week, these are the games. These are their totals. The points each opponent is supposed to win or lose by. So you take the total, and this is how we can imply the team scores, right? How do we get this number? Well, 47.5 is how many points the Buffalo Bills and the Saints are supposed to score. The differential, the spread, this number, 17, plus 17 or minus 17, is the difference in the score. So we can take the total of the game, we can split the difference, and we can get the implied score. So they're saying Buffalo is going to win by 17 points. This is going to be the total. If we do the math, the difference of 17 is Buffalo 32, Saints 15, right? So that's how we come up with these implied team totals. So you can come up with an implied team total based on the over-under totals. You can get the spread, how much whatever team's going to win by. And then you can look up how many points per game does the opposing team, whoever they're facing, how many points do they create per game? Because they're going to be creating points per game against your defense, the one that you have decided to stream. So that's important to know. We want to know how many points the team they're going against produces per game. We want to know what the total is going to be and imply the score. And we want to know what the spread is going to be. And that tells us who the best defenses are going to be. For instance, the Buffalo Bills game. Why are they ranked at the top? Well, they go against the Saints. And the Saints only score 15 points per game. 15.7 points per game. Cleveland's the only one that's worse. So why isn't Detroit the best team to play? Well, Cleveland, the implied score is going to be 18. So even though they score 15 points per game in this game, it's sportsbooks think they're going to score 18 points. Differential of 9, having Detroit win by 27. Right? So 18 points is more than 15. So Saints are supposed to score 15 points. You want that defense. Tennessee only supposed to score 16 points against Houston. You want this defense, right? So they're basically organized by how many points the opponent is going to score. And then there's a bit of nuance for how many points they're going to win by, the spread, versus how many points their opponent is able to generate per game, the points per game. And then we can kind of figure out how to order them, right? So Saints are only going to score 15. That's why Buffalo's the number one, right? They're going to win by an overwhelming margin. The Saints don't generate any points at all. They're not going to generate any. It's the biggest deficit. It's the least amount of points going against your defense. That they're in the best position to score the most defensive points, right? Because they allow the least. And then you can see the pattern. So Tennessee, 16 points. Cleveland only supposed to score 18. Cincinnati's only supposed to score 18. Chargers are only supposed to score 19. Carolina's only supposed to score 19 against the Pats. Dallas is only supposed to put up 20, even though they put up a lot of points per game, right? They're 10th, right? This is finally where, like, 29th offense, 28th offense, 30th offense, 24th offense. These are truly the best ones. These are really the ones that you want, that you pretty much don't even have to consider. This is how they're going to work out. The probability that they work out this way is very good, right? It's where you start to get to here where you have a good offense. Well, what if they pop off, right? What if Packers aren't really feeling it? What if something happens? They have the ability to score 25 points per game, right? This could get closer. This could get out of hand. This looks good. 7-point favorites for the Packers. But the Dallas is 10th for an offense, right? So 20 points is how much they're getting piped down, right? That's what Vegas thinks they're going to be able to put up against Green Bay. They're only going to be able to put up 20. Not 25, but only 20. But if you can pick from these guys scoring 20, these guys scoring 20, or these guys scoring 20, you probably want to pick the team that averages the least amount of points per game. Now, when you get down here, well, these are the losing opponents. These are the games that aren't close. These are the guys that aren't going to win, where they're getting 27. They're facing teams that score 27 points. 22 points scored on your defense is a small amount of points, relatively, right? If that team's not even gonna win, and the team that they're facing, like Minnesota, puts up 27 per game on average, that is very risky. I don't care how good the Steelers' defense is normally. You don't want to bet on Minnesota only being able to put up 22 and it be a close, low-scoring game. You don't want that. You don't want any of these losing matches. Look at this. The Browns. Why don't you stream the Browns? Because they're only supposed to score 18 points. The Lions are second for scoring. They score 34 points per game, and they're supposed to put up 27 on the Browns defense, right? So you don't want these teams. Any team with an X is losing. They're losing, and they give a lot of points. You can see the theme here. Most of these are 20-some points. Some of them are 30. Horrible opponents, horrible matchups. They have no chance of winning, right? This is supposed to be a close game between Kansas and Baltimore, but Baltimore puts up a ridiculous amount of points. What if they pop off? You don't want to slot in the Chiefs against the Ravens to win week 4, right? That's how you figure it out. Those are the best defenses. There they are again. You want one of those that are in bold. You want one of those top 15. They're in the best position. Anybody else is going to get ran up on. It's too risky. Don't play any of these other defenses. I don't care what anybody tells you. But most importantly, visit my store and watch some more videos.